Welcome, I hope you're well. My name's John Thorne, and I spent the last 13 years researching online collaboration, and I'd just like to take a few minutes to share with you what I learned. Face-to-face has natural checks and balances to stop conversations getting out of hand. They may not always work, but they are always there. But online, there are none. No checks and balances at all. So it is perfectly normal that if we communicate the same way we do face-to-face online, for us all to feel vulnerable and unsafe. Now what I've discovered is that a way of getting rid of that so that we feel safe online is to actually communicate in a different way to when we're face-to-face, but in a way in which takes into account the fact that there are no checks and balances. So if I'm going to communicate an environment where there are no checks and balances, I discovered that the best format for using it is to use the format where I have absolute control eternally over what I think, say and do. Then what I've worked out was the best format is to always share when I have made an explicit choice about how I want to feel when something happens to me. It's my choice. I make an explicit choice to choose how I want to feel. Or to put it another way, I avoid, like the plague, letting something happen to me dictate how I feel. So I don't let an event control how I feel. I always make an explicit choice over how I want to feel when something happens to me. So what that means is, for example, I might log on, find a group of people in a similar situation to me, and I will share with them how I feel when an event or something happens to me, making very clear that it is an explicit choice I've made. So, and what we found is that people tend to find that those other people in the same situation quite an uplifting process, because I'm saying I've chosen to do this. And because we're in the same situation, if I've chosen to feel this way, they can equally choose to feel how they want to feel in the same situation. So if you can imagine 100 people all doing that, that becomes quite a honeypot of good, uplifting feelings. And it also helps uplift me, because I'm also making myself feel as though I'm in control over an event. So the whole thing becomes a much more supportive, encouraging environment. That's true, people can still attack me. But let's say they log on to the forum and they might say something that attacks me, that says I'm wrong. But what's clear is I've made an explicit choice how I want to feel. So it works for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work for them, I'm just saying this is how I have chosen to feel. So because I'm confident that is an explicit choice of mine, it's right for me. Maybe not for them, but it's right for me. So if they're going to attack me, it's clearly going to say more about them than it is me. On top of that, because my self-esteem, my sense of control, sense of who I am, is quite high, because I've exercised the choice of how I want to feel, I have no need, have no desire, no need to defend myself against an attack. So what that allows me to do is to listen to them, to actively seek them out, to try and understand what it is that they're trying to say. And in that way I can enhance my learning and I can become a better person. What I've also discovered is actually if I do this, the person attacking me spots that I'm actually making a choice in how I want to feel. And they see that's a good thing. And then what seems to happen is they then start doing the same thing. So just by me demonstrating I'm making explicit choices over how I feel, what I've actually done is help someone that has attacking me do the same thing. And now they're feeling their self-esteem's coming up. So they start to stop attacking people and start making choices as to how they feel. So in effect, I've actually helped the person who's attacking me, and all I've done is just maintain my ability to make explicit choices about how I want to feel. It's fantastic. It makes me feel really good. And I've seen other people do the same thing, and it makes them feel really good. However, there is one major challenge in this, which you've probably already spotted, in that you must always maintain your ability to make an explicit choice over how you feel. It's actually very, very easy, for example, to get an email that makes you angry. And because you're angry, you forget to make an explicit choice over how you want to feel. So in essence, something that's happened to you drives how you feel. There's no conscious choice anymore, you just react. And that means you've lost the conscious choice. So to communicate this way online, to get the uplifting stuff that's online, it's critical that you spot when this has happened. In other words, you've lost your choice. And then what I've learned is that what I can do is I can recover that choice by a thing I call a toolbox, which I've got here. This is it, toolbox. And inside the toolbox, what I've actually got here, okay, some cards. And on the cards, it's got the negative emotion at the top and a positive action below. So let's say I've got my email. It's made me angry. I've lost my choice. I get away from the technology. I log off or do whatever. I just walk away and I take the pack with me. Flick through the cards. I find the card that's got emails made me angry. And I've got a positive action underneath. For example, one would be to walk away and go and do something I'm good at. That then gives me the space to remember I must make a choice. So I then come back to the email and I now log back on again and I say, right, how do I want to choose how to feel with this email? I make an explicit choice. That then allows me to respond back with content that demonstrates I've made an explicit choice. Then that normally kicks off this how I feel mode and self-supporting mode from then on in. Okay, so that is basically how to be safe online and to get the uplifting nature that's possible for lots of people sharing how they feel in similar situations to you online, which is just not possible if it was face to face. Okay? Toolbox though is key, because if you lose the ability to choose how you feel, then you become a victim to how you feel. And nothing good can come of that in an environment, online environment, where there are no checks and balances to stop it getting out of hand. So that, to me, is how to be safe online. Share how you feel with people in similar situations to you when you've made a clear, explicit choice in how you want to feel. Thanks a lot. And you can ask questions at respectexchange.com.